Lift, a new Netflix show starring Kevin Hart. Let me start by saying this. This movie was okay. Not a bad movie. But if you've seen a different comedian on a different platform voice an opinion about a multitude of comedians, you're going to go into this movie not liking it because that other comedian may have turned you sour towards Kevin Hart. Don't do that. Don't do that. Just go to the movie or go and sit in front of your TV, really, because it's on Netflix. Sit in front of your TV and watch the movie and enjoy it. Kevin Hart is not really doing this as a comedy. It's not really a comedy. It's more of a heist thriller with a little sprinkle of comedy in it. A little sprinkle of comedy. It's mostly a heist movie, mostly. But when you hear Kevin Hart, you assume it's going to be a laugh out loud comedy, and it's not that, man. Steve Martin has done non-comedy. Robin Williams has done non-comedy. He did 1 Hour Photo. Jim Carrey did The Number 33. Will Smith did 7 Pounds. Different comedians have gone beyond comedy to do different stuff. And Kevin Hart is apparently no exception. He's gone beyond. Eddie Murphy did Church. Can't forget that. He's gone beyond comedy to do something else. It's Kevin Hart, so you're expecting comedy. You're expecting him to tell you jokes and to laugh and whatever. And I mean, it's Kevin Hart, so he is kind of funny in the show, but it's more of a heist show than it is a comedy show. Now, it is filled with heist tropes. You know what's going to happen as you're watching it. You're watching the movie, and this person is moving something, and in your mind, you're like, okay, they want me to look at him. But over his shoulder, I see that other dude. He's doing something, man. He's doing something. And that's the kind of show it is. You know, they're saying, we're going to do this thing. But it's an organization of criminals and thieves that promise the government they're going to do this thing for the government, and they off grip just don't like the dude that they're working for. So you know they're going to double cross him. You know it. You know it. It wasn't bad, man. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It wasn't the Great Gatsby. You know, it wasn't the Endgame Avengers type. It wasn't that. But it was a good movie for what it was. You know what I mean? It was a good movie for what it was. Kevin Hart plays a guy called Cyrus, who is apparently a career criminal. He has always looked at the world slightly off skew. He's a criminal, and he's got a band of criminals with him. I got to tell you something. There's a guy in the movie that's with them that I could have sworn I recognized from something else. And it turns out that that dude was not the dude. I thought that dude was a different dude. Dressed like another dude. There's a dude in this movie named Billy Magnesium that I thought was the dude from, he's got a big, long German name. I'm not going to try to say it because I'm going to goof it up. But I thought this was the dude from the Army of Thieves movie. And I was like, oh wow, they brought that dude back and he's still playing the same role as a safecracker. Wasn't that dude though. But they had Kevin Hart, who you'll know. They had Gugu Raw, who you'll know. She was in the Loki series. She played Renslayer. They've got Sam Worthington, who you'll know from the Avatar movies. He's Sully. Vincent D'Onofrio. I always say his name wrong. He's in this movie. He's from the Daredevil series. Ursula Carabaro. I know I said that wrong too. But she's in this movie, and she's from G.I. Joe. She plays the Baroness. It's like a whole bunch of superhero movies got dumped into this movie, superhero characters. And I'm watching, and I'm like, that's the Baroness. And I'm watching it, and I'm thinking Magnesium. I'm like, oh, that's the dude from, but I was wrong about him. But the rest of them, it's like a bunch of superhero people placed in this movie, superhero actors. They did a good job, but Cyrus plays, or Hart plays Cyrus, who is a career criminal. He gets some criminals around him. They are a jewel and art thief organization. They go around just stealing stuff all of the time. And the movie starts out in the middle of one of their heists, and they're being chased by this woman who wants them, and that's typical. A heist team, they're being chased by one particular person who's been on their trail for a long time. They escape, and they're like, I'll get you, Gadget next time. It's one of those kinds of things. She really wants him. So she's going after him, and she catches up with him, and she kind of gets sucked into the team. She doesn't want to, but for some reason, she sees that they're friends, and that helps to turn her. She sees that they've got camaraderie. That helps to turn her. I don't think that helped to turn her at all, really. She had a romantic interlude with Cyrus at one point before she is sent to go catch him. And I think that was it. They're like in love with each other, but you could tell from the beginning that, before they even say it, the two, they dig each other, and they got to do this heist. They got to steal something from one of the world's most deadliest people, deadliest organizations. Actually, there's two deadly organizations that are coming together, and these guys got to steal something that belongs to them. And I was like, well, I can kind of figure this out. It wasn't a movie that you go to and you got to put your thinking cap on and try to deduce what's going on. It was the kind of movie that what's going to happen. How it's going to end. It was like a Rocky movie. Rocky's going to get in the ring. It really doesn't matter who's on. It could be a robot, an alien, a demon from the underworld. Rocky puts them gloves on and they start playing that music. Dun, 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 dun. Somebody's getting knocked out. And it's not going to be Rocky. And if he does, he'll be back later on in the movie in the third act, or he'll be back in part 2 if they think they can make a little extra money off the movies. But either way, you're not beating Rocky, so that's what this movie was. You knew from the beginning what was going to happen. I'm looking at the movie and I'm like, Rocky's going to knock somebody out. You just know what's going to happen, but you take the ride anyway. That's what this thing is called. The popcorn passport. You get a little popcorn, get a little something to eat, you sit down, and then you take your passport and let that movie or the TV show or series take you for a ride. Take you out there, man. Show you some stuff. Take you around the world. And that's what this movie does. It again is not a super great movie, because like in the first 20 minutes, I figured out what was going to happen through the whole movie. It's not a complicated movie. It's entertaining. And that's it. It's not a comedy. It's a heist movie. It wasn't bad, but with things that's going on, like I got friends that were calling me saying, hey man, don't watch that movie. You heard what that one guy said about this guy. Don't watch the movie. And I was like, I don't care about that, man. So I watched it. It wasn't bad. Especially since I was going in there still with that little bit, in my ear, and I'm expecting the movie to be terrible. It was better than terrible. It wasn't super, but it was definitely better than terrible. So I enjoyed it. In fact, I enjoyed it so much that I would give Lift. They kind of set it up like it could have a sequel, but I don't think it was good enough for a sequel. It's a Netflix movie, and it's not a Netflix movie like a Marvel movie is a Disney movie. It's a Netflix movie, as in like it's a Netflix movie. It's got Kevin Hart in it and a bunch of other superstars, but it's just a Netflix movie. It's not a theater movie. You're not going to go to the theater and pay money for this. But it's on your subscription. It's definitely a good watch on Netflix. And I would give Lift, starring the incredible Kevin Hart, 7 bags of popcorn. 7 bags of popcorn. Because that's what I think about that. More importantly, what do you think about that? Now that we had a chance to talk about the video, let's talk some more in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.
Popcorn Passport.